Winner's Circle, the podcast for all Averitt associates, no matter where you are or what you do. Don't forget to subscribe on your podcast app of choice so you can be sure not to miss out on new episodes. And now, LTL operations leader and host of the Winner's Circle, Amos Rogan.
Welcome, everybody, into the Winner's Circle. Thanks for joining us. Thanks so much for listening, as always. We get great feedback from those who are listening and watching this podcast, and we really appreciate it. And we want to hear some suggestions about what you feel like would be great episodes in the future. It's our privilege, honestly, to bring this type of content to you. It's all about culture. It's all about what it means to be an Averitt associate and why we do what we do. And I can't think of any better representation of that than seeing things from the perspective of leadership and drivers and dock associates and those who have been dock associates before, and just kind of understanding that whole philosophy of promoting from within. I think it's so important to the culture of our team and just the overall success of our team is to know that those who are in leadership now used to be, starting out earning their stripes on the dock or in the driver ranks or in a variety of things, not just LTL centered, but we see so many people from so many different areas, whether it be the corporate office, whether it be dedicated, truckload, now getting into distribution and fulfillment and integrated, moving up into more higher leadership positions than where they started with the team. And it's only because we have a culture of promoting from within. So with that and some of the things that we want to talk about on today's podcast, I've got three amazing guests from our Atlanta West facility. First, we have Rhonda Anderson, Debbie Watkins, and our operations manager, Dwayne Gribble. Folks, welcome to the Winner's Circle podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
So first, I want to talk a little bit about Atlanta. And Atlanta is a challenging a place to operate, a challenging place to drive. In terms of traffic and challenging areas to drive in, I want to first ask Rhonda and Debbie, how do you approach those opportunities to make sure that you're staying safe while still servicing our customers and treating them in a timely manner? Rhonda, I'll start with you.
For me, it's staying focused, being patient, making sure you're scanning the road, always looking at your mirrors. Overall, staying in a safely distance, use your signals. Traffic here in Atlanta can be very hectic because it's very crowded. When it rains, that's when you really need to be very much patient, slow down, just controlling your speed and staying focused and being patient.
Yeah. And Debbie, what about you?
She hit on that pretty good. I mean, GPS helps out a lot with the traffic situations, and but yeah, just keeping your speed correct and yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Rhonda, I know you started out as a dock associate on the platform, and then you went and got your CDL, and now you're a full-time city driver now. First of all, how was it getting from the dock into a driving position, a CDL qualified dock associate, I might add, with that? What enticed you to get your CDLs?
Well, for a correction, I already had my CDLs when I first applied for this position.
Okay.
I just didn't want to drive
Okay.
because of all the stress and everything dealing with driving as traffic. I was very nervous at the time of becoming a full-time driver, although I was over the road driver once upon a time.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the dock. When I came in as a dock worker. got CDL qualified within less than a year, I think. After that, I decided, with Gribble help, to become a full-time city driver. Um, it was very the training was very intense. You really have to um, do your hours of training, back in everything it was great for crossing over from doc to being a driver.
So basically, and Dwayne, I'd love to hear your perspective on this. You've got to instill confidence in your drivers to drive in the environment that Atlanta is, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, um, me having my CDLs in the past and doing some driving, even with Averitt, um, I always tell the drivers to utilize the instruments that we do have. The lane changing. If you run into a situation where somebody cuts you off, we always can hit the emergency video, just to protect yourself. So I instilled in Rhonda. I did pull her a little bit to make her to go to being a full time driver. So I kind of instilled that in them. Atlanta's tough. I drove downtown Atlanta, and I know they driving around the airport and the traffic 285
Mhm.
up and down 75 is always busy and congested. So
Mhm.
I think instilling that in Rhonda's in a predominant area where she runs all the time and does a great job. Customers love her. Uh, Debbie Debo, she's been in the same area ever since she's been here, and her customers love her. When we make customer visits, they always speak highly of both of them.
And I'm going to get to that because I think that's really important. But first, I want to ask you, Debbie, you've been with us since 2011. You came in as a driver. What enticed you to come to Averitt? What was it that made you want to be a part of the Averitt team?
Well, I started driving in 2001, and I was over the road for like 6 months, and then I went to. I couldn't stand being over the road, so I wanted to be at home. So I went to around the airport to find a job, and was with several different companies, but eventually I decided I wanted to better myself, and Averitt hired me on. I was very excited about that. Got the opportunity because I'm pretty sure there wasn't that many women drivers out then. But yeah, I'm very happy for the opportunity of working for Averitt.
Um, as Dwayne said, Debbie, the relationship between drivers and customers is unique. You're able to get to know your customers on a pretty personal level, actually, because you get to see them much more frequently than our sales associates do because they may have pickups every single day. So you might be seeing them every single day where our sales associates sometimes, it's a frequent visit, but it's not a daily visit. So that relationship is a little bit different between sales and customer and driver and customer. What are some of the things that you all do to try to get to know your customers better and to get in with them better so we can grow our business with them?
We talk about vacations and uh, what they like to do and where I go and what would be best, where would be a best place to go, and
Yeah.
riding motorcycles and riding the boat. But yeah, I try to get their business too, and it works out.
Yeah, absolutely. Rhonda, what about you?
Same here. We talks about, the weather, hobbies. When I do go into a company, I talk to the customer. Even when I see other freight for other companies, I always say, "Come on, give us more." Talking to them about, various things, vacation, family, weather. Um, Same as Debbie.
Atlanta West has seen a growth in female drivers in our driver team there locally. How have you all, and I'll start with Rhonda first, how have you all kind of been able to mentor and recruit and grow that group of drivers that we have to be effective, productive, and just kind of give them your tips and tools that you have learned over your time as being a driver to help them better.
Well, yes, women are. We dominating the trucking company, trucking industry by driving. Um, for me, when other women comes up to me and ask me about driving, it's not only about the intensive training. You need to be focused. That career path is something that you really want to be in, because not only that it's legal, it's legal to get your CDL, but it's illegal for to be up under that wheel and not being focused, um, driving reckless. But for helpful tips for me is being dedicated. If that's something you want to do in that career path, make sure that you get the proper training. Talk to the senior drivers that's out here. um, get all the knowledge from them, because within the trucking company, they often change policies as far as um, with the DOT restrictions, learning various things on what to do and not to do when
Yeah,
driving. So technology is well with inside the trucking is good too. But overall, make sure that it's something that you really want to do before, because it is costly
sure.
to do that. And a lot of companies, they spend a lot of money and time training. So it is really something that you really need to be dedicated and want to proceed.
And Miss Debbie, you've got a lot of time under your belt as far as being a driver. How do you help other drivers be the best version they can be?
Well, I like to know where I'm going every day and um, know the route uh, and have your route loaded correctly where it flows. I mean, sometimes that doesn't help in every day, but that's what helps me get through the day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good to kind of have a plan, kind of thought out in your head if you know where you're going before you head out. Dwayne, our Atlanta West KPIs, key performance indicators, the things that we monitor and look at on a daily basis have been great all year long and even surpassed this year, even back in 2023. They've been good as well. From your area as an operations manager of the one of the operations managers of the facility, how have you seen these drivers, these two ladies, particularly, but also your whole driving team, kind of excel and to be able to meet those KPI goals that are put out there?
I think we generally meet them based on because we have a great our driver has our drivers have a lot of length of service. As Debbie said, when you know where you're going, what you're doing, the experience you have, it gets you around the areas, and you can get in and out. The relationships you build with the customers. Sometimes that load that she talked to might not be loaded like she want, but she can always ask that customer, "Hey, move this here, move that there," and put it so she can get the freight off. But I think it's just overall the length of service we have. Our board out there, we have 20 to 30 associates that have at least 20 years of length of service, and some of them we got 25, like myself, and some of them have 30 years. So I think the experience helps us with our KPIs. We don't have great turnover. Knowing if even if Debbie doesn't work, she can know she can call somebody else and they'll give her a helping hand. I think that
Yeah.
just help our
Mhm.
KPIs.
I've been to Atlanta West more times than I can count. Every time that I go in there, it always feels like a tight knit group. People walking up and down the hallways, they're laughing, sometimes picking on each other a little bit, but all in good fun. Uh, but you hold yourselves accountable. You walk out there on the dock, there's dock leaders and there's dock associates all working together. They're talking, they're communicating. You can see that they know what the other person is thinking. And I think, Dwayne, and I would really like to have your perspective first on this. Um, you talked about the longevity of the people that we have within the facility and how that really fosters the culture. But I would love to know in a little bit more detail from each one of you, but I'll start with Dwayne and then I'll go to Debbie and we'll finish with Rhonda. What is it about that camaraderie inside the facility that you feel like the Averitt culture has really been able to bring along?
7 out of 8 leaders I have a lot of experience, 25 plus years. And again, we've grown together. We've been through the bad, we've been through the good, and we learn how to actually run a facility. And
Mm-hmm.
it starts from the top. Comes from Gary Sasser. When you when you when the top shows you how to do it, it just trickles
Mm.
downhill. Sometimes we spend together, we spend more time amongst the other than we do with our own family. And this when we come to work, we're a work family, and I think that's just what makes help Fulton run great, and the longevity helps also with that.
Absolutely. Miss Debbie, what about you?
Well, I just want to talk about what we do for outside of the company too. We are feeding the hungry in Atlanta and donating coats and socks and gloves to the homeless and getting school supplies for the kids for school and breakfasts and lunches and spending time together. It is like a family together.
You're right. Atlanta West has been a huge contributor of Team Up Community Challenge events and hours as far as that goes. And the cool thing about that is not only are you impacting the community around you, but you're also generating Averitt Cares for Kids donations for every hour that that team, that family is being done towards those Team Up Challenge events. And the cool thing about it is we get to see those in Team Matters, our associate magazine. You all are always in there and doing things. So it's a really, really cool atmosphere that you all have going on there. And I want to play off of that. And Miss Rhonda, if you don't care to expand on this, but how has the Averitt culture been able to intertwine some of the things that you all have done inside the facility in terms of that tight knit family culture that you have within the facility?
I like the way we come together with, like Debbie said, donating, giving back to the community, helping children, um, and like what Dwayne also said that we hear more time with our coworkers, with the associates than what we are, with our families. So that also help us to bond as, close knit. And I love the leadership here.
Sometimes, I guess, sometimes the honest truth sometimes can be a little bit painful, might sting a little bit, but if it's
Hmm.
said in the right way because you care uh, and received in the right way, then it can be an opportunity for growth and improvement. And everybody's better for it. So sometimes their leadership, and it's not necessarily their leadership. It's anybody who cares about anybody else has the
Right.
ability to say that, as long as they say it in honestly in love and respect of that person. So let me say this: I appreciate all three of you for the jobs that you do. I haven't just recently kind of met Debbie and Rhonda, haven't had an opportunity to meet or know them very long, but I've known Dwayne Gribble for a real long time. And folks, uh, as far as operations managers and just overall LTL knowledge, you're not going to get much better than this guy right here. So, what I always say is if you have an opportunity to ask questions, just like Dwayne just said, ask them. And here's the people that you can ask them to. And the thing about it is it doesn't matter whether you're inside Atlanta West or Atlanta East or any of the other 84 facilities that we have across the system. He's going to answer your question and he's there to help you out, just like every other piece of leadership that we have within this company, not just in LTL, but everywhere. We're here to help you and we're here to make you better. So, would like just to say at this point right now, thank you so much to all three of you for everything that you do, for everything that you've done, but more importantly, for everything that you're going to do in the future, because just like Rhonda said, this ain't the ceiling. You're going to continue to go up. So thank you all very much for being on the podcast, and stay safe and all that good stuff. So thanks very much.
Thank
for
you.
Thanks for having
having
me.
me.
So finally, folks, as we wrap up this episode, I want to talk to you a little bit about awareness. We should always be aware of our surroundings, maintaining a high level of safety, being good stewards of our equipment and our facilities, and taking care of our customers' business with quality and timeliness. That is Averitt 101. We should be doing those things every single day because that is who we are as a company and what has been able to bring us success for so many years. But I want to throw a little bit of a new flavor into this as far as awareness that potentially maybe you haven't thought about before, and that is self-awareness. Basically, how are you portraying yourself to the team, to our customers, and the general public who just see us going up and down the road? Studies have shown that all of us who participate in service-based businesses, and like I said, that's everyone, but let's just think about it from the customer standpoint that we have on a daily basis. Those customers are more apt to use positive service-based companies than negative ones because of the experiences that they have. And that means that those who are on the front lines of servicing those customers are showing a positive attitude, positive body language, and using positive words. Likewise, those who are showing that to our customers are led by positive examples. It's much easier to do those types of things. So let's think about that. Our words and our actions, our negative words or negative actions, and I know some days are harder than others, and that's okay. But we have a decision to make of using either positive or negative words, because in those decisions, either maximize or marginalize the people that are around us and our ability to be our best. And we want you to be your best on a daily basis, because awareness can, and having that awareness can foster improvement that can set us up for the future through ourselves, through our team, and our customers. And that is how we stay in the winner's circle. So I hope you have an opportunity to be better today, because when you get better, the team gets better. Be safe, be blessed, and we'll talk to you next time.